Okay, so we're back. Last time we sculpted and retopologized this absolute masterpiece, and today we're finally giving it some color. Hold on to your keyboards, folks. First things first, we need to export our meshes. In Blender, select the high poly version of your majestic slab of wood. Go to File, Export FBX. Then do the same for the low poly mesh. Crack open Substance Painter and start a new project. I went with 1024 map resolution and DirectX. Click Select and choose the low poly mesh to load it in. Head over to the Texture Set Settings tab and click the Baked Mesh Maps button. I use dilation width of 4 pixels. I don't know why, but the most important part is to pick your high poly mesh as the high definition mesh. Check the mesh to make sure that there are no red spots anywhere on your low poly so you don't end up with black holes on your model. And then bake the stuff. Back in painting mode, let's not lose our minds trying to find materials. Since all of my materials are on one texture set, because we're efficient, I organize them using groups. Create a new group for each material. In my case, I have blue wood, stone, metal frame, and glass. Then add the black mask to each group so we can control what geometry gets textured. So now, in order to select the parts of the geometry that I want for each group, I use the polygon fill tool. The black and white slider up the top, white adds to the mask, black removes. And gray, don't worry about it, too much uncertainty. I also added a base color layer to each group. So we separated all materials into groups. Now I'm going to texture the wood and show you step by step what I do with each layer and color, so let's go. First off, I'm going to add a new fill layer with a light brown color. Add a black mask to it and then add a curvature generator. I want to get that worn off look around the wood planks, and I am playing around with the sliders here until it looks okay. There's no particular way to set these sliders, just move them around and see what works. So I like the effect that this gives, but I don't really like all of the placement of this wear effect. And for that I create a new group, add the edge wear layer in the group and add the black mask to this group. Now with the brush selected and the slider all the way to the white, I can paint out the parts I want to see. Pretty cool. Next we can add some color variation. Create a new fill layer with a slightly darker blue color. Again, add a black mask. You're gonna hear black mask a lot in this video. Then add a curvature generator again and play around with the sliders. I'm trying to make the carvings on the wood more visible. Kind of make that wood texture pop out more, you know? And then basically do the same but with a lighter color of blue. We're basically trying to get some color variation that we can work with later. I'm not sure what I was trying to achieve with the lighter color, but here we are. Once all the materials are in, I slap a stylized filter on top. Something with the big brush strokes and some color variation to give it that hand-painted vibe. I exclude the edge wear layer from this filter because if I don't, it turns into a chaotic soup of brush strokes. We want some structure over here, okay? I decided mid-texturing that I want to make the wood on the little window frame a different color, so we're gonna make it brown. It's not painted. I'm not gonna overcomplicate this one, I'll just add an edge wear and a bit of color variation with a curvature generator. For this one I also added this muddy green color with a dirt generator. I added another layer to paint over some areas where the bake does not look as convincing, adding a little bit of depth and detail, or at least that's the plan. In terms of the roughness of the layers, I usually make the darker colors with a higher roughness and the lighter colors with a lower roughness. I do this because I like the roughness variation on the model. It looks nice when it catches the light, and also I like how shiny edges look on the asset. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that the biggest takeaway from this video is that the better your sculpt is, the faster and more efficient your texturing is. If you love stylized stuff, stick around here because I cannot stop talking about it.